In an interview with BTV News, the head Rehabilitation and Reintegration Department of Edo State Task Force Against Human Trafficking, Mrs. Nkechi Megbuzie, highlighting the theme marking this year's event, stressed the need to protect young children, being the main target of traffickers due to their vulnerability and naive nature, further stating that the state has recorded progress in combating irregular migration.
This year's own is a very, very remarkable one, and we really resonate with it because it has to do with children. And then it says, leave no child behind. And by saying this, because children from at least 0 to 18 years is who is regarded as a child or children. So they are really the target audience for this thing called trafficking. They are very vulnerable. They are those persons who because at some point they don't get the chance to speak to parents and get informed, they fall into the hands of these victims, which is why a lot of them are trafficked even on school uniforms. And just like a program I attended yesterday at JUPSA, it says when you hear something that says don't tell anyone, you know they are the one. So because if what you're about to do with you is something that is legal, they can't say don't tell anyone. So when traffickers come, they want you to cut off all ties with everybody so that before you even get to know where you are across borders. And right now, Edo State has gone beyond that. The governor himself took it upon, it's a mandate he took upon himself, which is why he created the Edo State Task Force Against Human Trafficking, to see that trafficking in persons and irregular migration is reduced to the barest minimum in the state, which he has succeeded in doing as we speak. So it's a milestone he has been able to achieve using this office and other stakeholders working side by side with him to say that today Edo State is no longer the vulnerable state it used to be.
Young men are the main category of people who usually engage in irregular migration, according to Mrs. Megbuzie, with the aim of getting to greener pastures. She listed misinformation and ignorance as the major factors facilitating irregular migration and human trafficking, noting that necessary modalities have been put in place to checkmate human trafficking.
The number of returning migrants we have had in the past years that we have received in this office from inception at the moment is about 5,558 returned migrants. And of that 5,558 returned migrants, over 5,000 have been reintegrated in one way or another. It's not like Task Force did it alone. They did it with other partners through referrals, recommendations, and all of that, because as you know, many of these returning migrants are either skilled or not skilled. So for the ones that are skilled, they are sent to places where they just do refresher courses and they are given startup kits to continue their lives all over again. And for those that are not skilled at all, they have to start all over by learning skills of their choice, because you don't choose for them, you just give them the options on ground. So they pick what they want and they are trained in those skills and they are given their startup kits. And at this point, we can't cut out International Organization of Migration, because they have been a very wonderful partner in this race, because they do a lot to see that the beginning part of reintegration for these returning migrants is well monitored and all of that.
Trafficking in persons is a serious crime and a grave violation of human rights. Every year, thousands of men, women, and children fall into the hands of traffickers in their own countries and abroad. Oluwatoyin Oyedola, reporting for BTV News.